spring, Steve Hoskins struck 8 times. Total score of 256 to Parker Bones, 216. Now goes into the semifinal against Paul Koehler of Stuart, Florida. A sidebar, a level up here at the massive Joe Louis Arena, was this scene where you could get players' autographs, buy bowling equipment, memorabilia, concessions were there, so if you were thirsty or hungry, Walter Ray is busy doing it. Let's go into 6 through 24, Nelson.
Well, Chris, for the U.S. Open, it's a 56-game format. The size of the field, 240 players. 96 are league qualifiers with 144 touring pros. Mike Albee in there. Ted Hennis is always tough. The King, Ron Williams. Mark Roth, April 10th, his birthday. My son, Nelson III, also April 10th.
Hey.
Kelly Kaufman, the power man, needs to be a little more consistent. Steel Smith, LeClaire, watch that name. I like him. Norm Duke, number 2 behind Deadeye right now. Tim Chris, a good winner. The big Texans right there, 17 and 18. The Warrior, Dave Ferraro. Cliff Connors, one of the league players. Steve Wilson was in a championship round a few weeks ago. Chris Warren let that powerful ball go. And Richie Buss round out the top 24. 60 cashers this week.
240 started. And next week we go to Markham, Ontario, suburb of Toronto, for the IOF Foresters Open. Mike Edwards, the defending champion. 2 weeks from today, another arena event. Harper College, outside of Chicago, for the finals of the Brunswick World Tournament of Champions. Our 14th and final stop for 1995. Match 3. Paul Koehler in the orange-red shirt. Hoskins ready for his 3rd match, Bo, of the afternoon.
Chris, he's averaging 243 through 2 matches. He has the power to maintain the carry from that inside line. I like to call it the rainbow shot, almost a bungee type release with that big snap. And right now, let's see if Koehler can stop the Hoskins train.
Frame 1, strike. Now, Paul Koehler, he's 25 years old, 5'7", 152 pounds. His mother, Yvonne, is here, along with you, to watch him bowl. He has 4 regional titles. He has 3 cashes in 11 tournaments this year.
Just maturing on the tour.
High hit, leaving the 3.
Well, he gets a good break. You need a little break as you see the strong profile of this young man. 4 steps. He's a weightlifter, Chris. Very strong upper body. That 4-step short delivery. Got a good wrist action. Drives straight through it. He's solid at the line. Doesn't quite trust that shot. Very good there. Doesn't quite trust it to the target. And breaks up the 310 baby split. His opening championship round shot.
Delightful young man. I flew to several California stops with him a few years ago, and had a chance to really visit with him.
There you can see the 56-game format. Those first 4 numbers are 8-game blocks. That's 32 games of qualifying, 5, 6, and 7, 24 games of match play finals, 7 days, 56 games. Koehler in the semifinals. And now you're right. Paul Koehler is a delightful young man. He's really improved his game in the last year.
So he has left the 2-4, and he lives in one of the garden spots of America, Stuart, Florida.
Chris, he almost leaves the 2-4-10 here, gets a great break in the 10-pin, leaves himself an easy spare. He can get out of these 2 opening frames, a little shaky with marks. He'll be okay.
He's to the right of center to cover the 2-4. And the cross-lane shot, effective. 2 spares for Paul Koehler. Now Steve Hoskins open with a strike. Getting ready to bowl in the 2nd frame of the semifinal game. The winner to meet, Dave Houston. There's a double and a 12-pin lead, Nelson.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. And Hoskins looks very sharp as he opens with 2 strikes. The first one, a power shot in the first, and then he hits solid in the second. As I'm talking to Parker Bone, and Parker said next week's another week. Parker, next week's not the U.S. Open, pal.
It's all right. Next week's another good week out here on the tour, and You can't win every week, but I'll tell you what, you get me to the show again and I'll show somebody else how to do it.
You had a tough line out there, the outside line.
Yeah, the left lane really hooked a lot on me, and I made one bad shot there on the right lane. So between the 2 bad shots overall, and Steve bowled one really great game, so best of luck to him, and we'll just take it from there.
All right, Chris, back to you.
19 strikes this afternoon for Steve Hoskins. 8 in his 2 victories, and now 3. Watch this reaction. We got it. Right. Spare up, shooting in the 3rd. Paul Koehler. Shows you how he really can bowl.
Tell you what, Chris, this fella's really worked on his game. He used to step across the shot as Yvonne looks on, Paul's mother. He used to really step across the shot and have a serpentine approach to the left, and he couldn't keep his that's cute. Could not keep the ball in play consistently. He straightened his approach out somewhat, and he's always had the rest of the game. And right now, he'd like to get his first double in a championship round. Real good.
Oh, did he reach out there? Oh,
real good.
Follow through. Whew. Paul Koehler at Joe Louis Arena. Lovely artwork like this Venetian glass mosaic can be found in every station along Detroit's People Mover network. Here is Grand Circus Park.
Yes, sir.
Hurry, get on board, it's coming. Won't you listen?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hello.
And a terrific vocalist, jazz vocalist, Harvey Thompson, with a extremely talented quintet here at Joe Louis Arena. Steve Hoskins, 3 in a row, shooting in the 4th, leads by 12. Two and a sleeper 8 in the right lane.
Well, that's the only lane he's really struggled with, Chris. He's 11 of 12 strikes. As you see his ball sliding by, the 2-pin goes to sideboard and takes out the 4-7. But he's had a little trouble in the right-hand lane and 11 of 12 on the left. So if he can keep spanking that left lane, every time he hits that right, it's a 3-bagger.
Games of 231 and 256 and victories over Dave D'Entremont and Parker Bone for Steve Hoskins.
Give you a Steve Hoskins quote. I know I don't have to be as accurate as many other players in the game because of my power. So he's used it so far well today, Chris.
Jeannie Halsey of the Forum Quaker State Open site knows him well. He has won 2 Quaker States. Strike in the 5th for Hoskins, 98 through 4. And Paul Koehler is back up. His regional championships came in Sebring, Maitland, and Gunterville, Alabama. That puts 3 in a row for Paul Koehler, and it's all even, Bo.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. Obviously the guy who's the tournament leader, David Houston. David, 11 victories, no losses in your last 4 appearances. The all-time record, 16-0. What's the story? How about today?
Just one shot at a time, Bo. The lanes are a little different. Concerned with the right lane a little bit. I might end up moving out to the right a little bit and take my hand out of it and just kind of roll it in the dry a little more.
Well, you've led it for 56 games inside. Is that a good move?
Well, it's a different setting here, synthetic lanes versus wood. I'm just going to go out there and try to read my ball and do the best I can.
All right, partner. Good luck. Second championship. Back to you, Chris.
Oh, the reaction by Paul Koehler, and maybe the laziest strike I've ever seen. Watch it. Oh, the reaction was to a strike that didn't seem possible, even halfway through the pin action, but gives him a 10-pin lead. And Steve Hoskins ties it up again. Coming up next, it's an afternoon of action on ABC's Wide World of Sports. We'll hit the rugged trails of the Colorado Rockies for the World Mountain Bike Championships. Plus, 4 top athletes battle it out in the finals of the Foot Locker Slam Fest and a key Kentucky Derby prep race as NASDAQ presents the Santa Anita Derby. That's all coming up next here on ABC Sports. Santa Anita, where we did the equestrian competition of the 1984 Los Angeles Olympic Games. And it's a 10-pin lead for the Waltzer. In the semifinal game, here's a look at Detroit's Greektown, known for years as an entertainment mecca. And it is. Here at Joe Louis Arena, Detroit, Paul Koehler with an unusual shot.
Chris, the head pin goes to the sideboard, and he gets just a terrific break as it twists between the 2, 7, and 8 pins. That made it 4 in a row, kept him even in the match, and right now after Hoskins has added 2 more strikes, Koehler needs a strike in the 7th that once more even the match. Semifinal U.S. Open. Great performance so far by Paul Koehler. First time ever in a championship round.
Joe Scout. Look at this crowd. Paul's mom.
Paul Koehler, excellent young player, opening championship round. Has a couple of technology strikes there in the 6th and 7th frames. It's up to him to take advantage of them over Hoskins, who has already won 2 matches. They're all even, 3 frames left.
Now Koehler as a 6th batter, and does he run him out?
He's a strong finisher. His last 3 rounds in the tournament regular, he finished 279, 277, 279 in rounds 6, 7, and 8, so he knows how to put them together. But here's a man who's won 2 Quaker State championships, and he knows how to answer.
We're tied up again.
Steve Hoskins cannot get any more on the ball and keep it on the lane. He delayed his swing at the top, took an extra little time at the bottom of the swing, and just caught it all, trusted it to the right. And right now, if both players, as Steve's wife looks on, if both players take it off the sheet, it'd be a 278 tie. That's what we almost ran into last week, partner.
Here at Joe Louis Arena, it's punch and counter punch, these 2 bowling professionals. Ninth frame. A 10-pin lead.
Hoskins' 2 best shots right there of the whole day. He's risen to the occasion. He's bowled Paul Koehler many times, both Floridians. Neither one of them giving an inch. Let's see if Koehler can answer. If Koehler strikes out, he cannot lose in regulation, only in a sudden death overtime.
Oh, these fans are with this attractive young man. He'll have the ladies standing in line, but
He's had them before. Right now, he'll have the bank teller standing in line, Chris. He's got a potential big paycheck here. He needs to perform 1 more frame here to keep Hoskins on the ropes. Possible 278 tie here in the semifinal. Here we go.
Mikhail Baryshnikov. See him leap in the air with Bart Connor.
The arena setting gets the adrenaline flowing. Says he wants to go surfing in Costa Rica after this tournament's over. Nice big paycheck wouldn't help pay the expenses. You get a big smile from Koehler there because that was a key shot, and Chris, he pulled that ball inside target and it just set back. He knew that in any other conditions other than ideal arena conditions, that ball goes a little high.
And he gave his fellow Floridian a long look.
Well, he's put the pressure on Hoskins. If Koehler strikes on this ball, he finishes 278. He cannot lose in regulation. If they tie, we'll do a 2-frame roll-off. Here we go.
Spares and the rest strikes. 278.
Okay, last week, Danny Wiseman, 278.
Listen to this crowd. Standing.
And Mike Edwards had a chance to win at 279. He got 2 strikes and 8. Right now, Hoskins needs 3 to tie.
The scout didn't do it in this case. 278 for Koehler. Standing ovation for both professionals at Joe Louis Arena. Look at it. This ABC Sports presentation of Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after